All the Keene girls wear lipstick, or rather most do. At least my mama and her own. When the babies were around, my grandmother was sure to wear her deepest berry shade so that when she grinned into their faces and sing-songed, "Winkin', blinkin', and nod, sweetheart," the big-eyed, happy round faces of her grandchildren were sure to smile back. I often go with an orangey or red. Still, I am channeling the women before me. When she first told me about being committed, my grandma's voice was factual and breezy all at once, like a weather woman. As if I already knew the story. I did not. Like being locked away in an asylum for a year, 6 electroshock therapy treatments, 6 children left at home, was as common a story as the ones about how great she used to look in a 2-piece or when she first met Papa on the beach on a double date with a different boy. I remember her face in the lamplight, comfy in her corner recliner, the same one she swooned over Regis and heckled Kathy Lee from. Calm, still lovely, serene even, as she recounted trying to escape. Hiding in the morgue. The morgue. How they found her from a trail of her menses. How they'd taken her teeth. It was like a great retelling of a horror film. I was transfixed and aghast. It seemed impossible. Ours was a family that seemed like a movie. My mother and 4 sisters, all gorgeous and gregarious. The photo of them setting up a faux French restaurant for their parents' anniversary. One aunt, the quiet designer, one the sultry entertainer, the 2 youngest servers in chiffon aprons. My mom, the maitre d'. We kept this up as extended family, putting on productions each New Year's Day. Many years we were together, all 6 of Grandma's kids and their own, and we'd dress up in exaggerated costumes, usually performing a little ditty, depending on the theme. The Hawaiian year, my dad and uncle wore leis and a paper canoe and sang Don Ho's Tiny Bubbles. The year we were musicians, my mom was, of course, Tina Turner, belting out about what love has to do with it while my siblings and I lip-synced the B-52s. Just a few years before the night Grandma told me of losing her mind, the theme was Japan, as several of us had hosted exchange students, so honored their recipes, wore gifted kimonos, and ate cross-legged on the floor. Grandma showed up as a sumo wrestler. It was all bright lights and terribly entertaining. Just don't look behind the curtain. As Grandma told her story, the impressions of the family I was from turned watery, a mirage. The life we saw in photos and heard in the remembering wasn't nearly the whole story. We are just now getting brave enough to suss out the contrast of these pictures with the truth that lived behind them. Most of us. I am just now understanding the real life of my mother. The dashing, brilliant father, a homicide detective in the LAPD, and a very good whistler, was also a philandering alcoholic who sometimes gambled away their rent and often could not be relied on, and by just that alone, I imagine, an accomplice in the breaking down of his wife. The 4 sisters, her comrades, each carrying their own versions of these stories and this life. The red-haired, grinning brother who abused her. The loving, lipsticked mother who made their humble homes lovely, who garnished their shoestring dinners and ironed their tablecloths and painted and prayed and sang top-of-lungs opera, and also thought that the people Papa had summoned the day she was committed were there to bury her alive. My mom was 3 and had climbed up on her bed to be close to her mother and remembers her screaming those words, "Not the baby." Now, I am a person who cranks her head away from roadkill and carries out bugs. I literally wear rose-colored glasses, and my entire living is made looking for light. I've seen every episode of The Walking Dead and managed to catch only a handful of walkers in the kill. I am that good at closing my eyes and hiding my face. So as the truth, littered with dangerous men and deep instability, has leaked out slowly like a stain, I was afraid the brutal would eclipse the beauty. I'm just now seeing how we're made up of both. We've been taught that mentioning the monsters in the room will wake them up. that we are never supposed to let darkness in, but maybe we are just supposed to beam light right in its big, ugly face. So now, when I slide hibiscus red on my mouth and miss the same part on my bottom left lip that my mom and her mama did too, when I look all the way through and see behind my own eyes those of my mother and hers, I know I'm channeling the gritty complexity of being us. We are made up of ink black midnight and sunrise, the nightmares and the daydreams all together. We are made up of each other. Light needs shadow to be recognized. Anything beautiful has the contrast of both. Darkness can be survived, but only if you know it's there. Only if you blast a floodlight into the corners. So it's okay, necessary even, to look straight in the face of both. Because peering back is not just who you are, but the legacy of the dance of these things and the people you love, those before you and those you leave behind, all swirled together, all composing your life. Thank you.